Bye.
Are you for real right now?
Sorry, man.
Are
Business.
you for real?
Businessman.
You've got no business, bro.
Bear business.
Bear business.
Load of business, sorry.
Why are you doing business with bears? Naughty bear.
Anything.
Oh, Naughty Bear's not there today. Hey, welcome to your game of...
Hey! Sorry.
What kind of place is this?
Sorry, let's watch.
Welcome to
Yes,
the new episode of Gamerbox, the first of 2017. I'm AJ, I'm your host, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at AJNation71, on PlayStation and Nintendo at AJNation. Let's go around the table. Who's this guy?
I'm Phil. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Phil!
Kill him. Yeah, I'm Phil. Toxic, smoky, out there, dancer and all. You know, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. And this guy, switch
Switch
over.
to me.
Oh.
Switch to me.
I can't do the click. There we go.
I'm Martin, and as you would have seen from our previous reviews and podcasts, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MartoDH.
Wow, since I'm new to this madness.
Who is this new guy at the end of the table?
Do sound. Hello, I'm Matthew,
Matty.
also known as Kinger.
Kings.
I do have a Twitter, but I can't remember right now, so it might be added to the notes.
At King in 1988.
It shows how much I use that.
Stalker.
I've been invited to join this,
Sorry.
whatever this is now. But first of all, I'd like to just plug my, I'm also another part of another podcast, game group called Rage Flip Gaming. We mainly concentrate on board games, tabletop games of various types. We basically a bunch of idiots like this playing board games.
You said
I was about to say I was going to put a link in the description below, but now you've said that, I'll consider
Yeah.
not doing it.
But yeah, if you want to come and see us and play some nerdy board games, come on, check our channel out. So.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant. Just to let everyone know, Kinger is a good friend of ours, and he will be a regular presenter when he's in the country. Kinger has a very interesting job.
Very
Basically, he works for MI6. Kinger is a spy. You're not supposed to know that, so after
No,
this
just-
recording, we're probably
We'll
going to
have
be
to
getting
kill
killed. Yeah, but it's fine. Not many of you watch anyway.
Kill him.
So, to begin with, what we
Well,
thought
this
we'd
is
suggest is because in our first ever episode we discussed our favourite 5 games of all time. Kinger would like to discuss quickly what his favourite game of all time is. So, Kinger, what is it?
Mass Effect, or more the Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh,
So
okay,
It's not really
interesting.
a single game itself, but
Yeah, sure.
it is because they're all pretty much blew into one big long storyline. It's known as Mass Effect trilogy itself, but that is probably my favourite game of all time, easily. Mainly because of the epic storyline. You feel like you're a part of this huge universe that's full of life, and you're there to save it. And you
Yeah.
play Shepard, the main character in it.
He will be missed
He will be missed.
in the new one.
Spoilers.
No, I'm on about the new one that's coming out.
Still a spoiler.
I haven't played it.
Why did you know what goes on then?
I just know.
Let the kids.
Sorry. Do your RPG talk about it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's the gameplay's good. I mean it changes over the first one's got a lot more RPG elements to it. While the later two and 3 concentrate more on action sort of standard. I won't say standard cover-based shooters, but the gameplay is good. It's it's not just it's the story it tells and the characters you meet. And
Definitely.
you never see it's the only game where you actually feel attached to the characters in it and you actually care what happens to them. And there's several mistakes you can make where they end up some of them end up dying. And personally, I reloaded and played it through again just so I didn't kill that character off. I get attached to them.
Yeah.
But it's one of my games where I go back every year and play through the entire trilogy again. Just one of those games I like. I look forward to Andromeda this year when it comes out.
I was going to say, are you going to be the purchaser of
Yes,
Andromeda?
that'll be
Yeah.
so I pre-ordered and we'll be out. Well, I'll be playing it as soon as it comes out.
Yes. So, is it PS4 or PC for you? Because you're a PC guy.
PC for
Yeah. See, I'm going to purchase it on PS4.
You going for it?
Yeah, I like Mass Effect. I think it's brilliant. I probably don't like it as much as Kinger, but that's not to say I don't really like it.
Yeah, I was
I
not really
would-
a good fan.
Did you not like Mass Effect
No.
games?
The RPG was pretty cool and how you talk to people and stuff like that. But it just wasn't for me.
What did you think of Mass Effect 9?
So good.
He blatantly knows.
What's your favourite bit about Mass Effect?
Just everything. Everything. That's the entire mass and the effect.
Ah,
I like
that was
that.
a good
Oh,
switch.
good.
That's a scoop. We're going to hashtag that in the intro. Right. Did you just say Switch?
I said it.
I like the crossover. Right. I can't click.
Terrible. Get out.
That's
Get out. Go.
one of the unfortunate effects of being a white person.
Effects of being a white person.
Mass effect.
Guys.
So, of course, 2017, the first major gaming event of 2017 has happened, and that's the Switch reveal, and that's what we're going to focus on today. It's quite an exciting time for us, especially because it's the first console also we'll be dealing with as a group. So let's get straight to it. For me personally, this is big because I'm a big Nintendo fan.
Carry on. Sorry.
Not just a big Nintendo, the biggest.
I don't think I'm the biggest, but
Well,
I've got to be
close.
like in the top
Yeah.
10% or something.
In England.
Huh?
In England.
Well, yeah, I was going to say like
America. And Japan. And
Yeah,
Israel,
they do it.
China, like-
they do it hard. Yeah, I don't think I can compete with that. So let's talk the basics of the console. Let's talk about the features. What makes this console extraordinary? What makes it not so extraordinary? What are some of its limitations, possibly? I mean, you guys have watched a press conference like me. I even actually, because the press conference was at 4 in the morning over here, because it was live in Japan. Let's talk about that press conference to begin with. I stayed up and watched it. It was, for me, as being someone that has watched Nintendo grow through the industry, going from this essentially a Japanese toy maker to trying to strive to get more into the tech industry, be more recognised for their products from a technological standpoint. And I'm not talking about just raw power now, I'm talking about machines that have something about them that isn't necessarily
Philips
found.
Drive.
What's that?
The
Sorry?
Philips Drive.
The-
that they did.
Well, no, that wasn't Nintendo.
That
We
wasn't
don't talk.
Nintendo, no?
We
We
don't
don't-
talk about that. We don't talk about that. The same way we don't talk about the Virtual Boy.
Wait.
But Nintendo takes strides to make products. Are you right?
Yeah, Virtual Boy, man.
Virtual Boy.
Don't
worry.
I'm
As-
surprised
you're
you're
not
not
going to be the
lying.
only person that doesn't know that what that is. And there's a good reason for that. It only lasts about 6 months.
I think a lot of people went blind.
Something like that. We're probably going to get sued now. Well done. Just taking strides into the industry to create products that are very unique, and we saw that with the Wii, with the DS. Now with the Switch, I mean, even with the presentation itself, it was very reminiscent to me of an Apple event. When you basically get the release of your iPhone, you have these big soirees that are presented by top company execs that talk
There's a lot
about
of suits,
yeah
for sure.
that talk about features of this new product, and Nintendo seemed to take a lot from that. And it's probably telling that you had Sergio Miyamoto at the last Apple event presenting Mario Run. It's obviously those two companies now have got some sort of working relationship.
But that's where a lot of the industry's going now anyway.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah,
Not just
exactly.
Apple. I mean,
Yeah.
Samsung now do it.
Yeah, they do.
Microsoft itself.
PlayStation did it with the PlayStation
Exactly,
Pro.
yeah.
Sony themselves, not just PlayStation, Sony with their
Yeah.
TVs,
Mm.
mobile.
I mean,
they're still doing
Yeah,
mobiles.
it seems
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
it seems to be a big way to do it. I mean, in previous past, a lot of these games were revealed at gaming shows like
Yeah,
E3 and stuff like
E3
that.
and Gaming
But
Expo. Yeah.
it's going away from that now, where it's the big exclusive
That's
events.
the sad thing about it, because E3 is a big thing for like
It was
consumers
the-
and
yeah, it was to get
suits
show-
to go
show
and
the
see
world,
what's new,
yeah.
what's coming.
Yeah.
And now they're all just branching off to their own thing. Obviously, Nintendo did it first with their. I don't know if they were first, but they did the whole direct thing, which was good for a bit. But the Wii U, I know. Let's not talk about Wii U. I don't want to talk.
Well,
about
the failures of the
Briefly.
Wii U were partly due to Nintendo's presentation. That's something we can happily tackle because it does make sense to in this conversation. But to me, again, going back to the presentation itself, seen a lot of new faces on stage for Nintendo. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a lot of, these are people that you knew were there in the background because every time you completed a game, you saw the name in the credits, but you never had a face to put to
Never
them.
knew them.
And now you actually know what the director of the Mario series looks like. You know, for the first time, the new president of Nintendo since Satoru Iwata, that was the first time he made a public appearance on stage. That's a big thing for Nintendo. Now you're talking about these presentations these other companies are doing, where they've been doing it not necessarily a while because Apple have, but the others are adapting that policy. For Nintendo to do that, he was stuck in their traditional Japanese roots. They're a very inclusive business. They are very fixed on their cultures and their origins. It's a big deal. It doesn't seem like a big deal presentation wise. and there were some flaws in the presentation. But for Nintendo, that was a massive step.
Yeah.
It was a real big
For-
step.
for-
But
Go on.
I think it's a step they had to take. Really.
Yeah, yeah,
They have to
yeah,
really
definitely.
Three disappointing
And
sales. That
because-
was fairly poorly advertised.
Because
so-
you
Oh,
said about
shocking.
the direct,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that was going off a different path.
Yeah.
Now they thought, well, we need to kind of show this item off and where it's going to go,
Well,
the features
yeah,
and
at
stuff
the end
like
of the
that.
day, marketing is a massive thing.
Yeah, yeah.
In any industry, especially in the gaming industry.
And obviously,
Definitely.
no one,
I mean,
not everyone's going to
yeah.
be on YouTube at that time or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
so-
it's a very the word hype in the industry. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
You see a lot in games, now you see it in all the consoles. It's how they sell.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
hype it, I think, oh, look at this amazing product we got.
Mm.
Do you want it?
Mm.
And that's how you sell it.
No, I agree
If, you,
completely.
if people don't know about it, they're not going to do it. So I think Nintendo, as much as a big step for them, a step they had to take.
Well, it's interesting though because if you look back on the Wii, which was a juggernaut of it's one of the best-selling consoles of all time. It has some of the most recognisable games or casual games to date. You
Yeah.
had your Wii Sports, you had your Carnival
with it, though.
games.
It came with it.
It did, but it's still if everyone
Grandparents,
Exactly,
children, mothers
exactly.
and fathers,
That's
sisters
when-
and brothers, they knew
I mean,
something was included.
Yeah, my parents went out and bought one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
They don't buy
Yeah.
consoles ever, but
No.
they bought one.
You find them in care homes
Um,
and like
yeah, exactly.
Because they were
businesses, even
yeah.
businesses
Yeah.
like top businesses have their chill out rooms. They have a Wii Fit, whatever. It's there.
Like Mark not even contest this as well. You saw the Wii television adverts. Like you had the Red Naps do a television advert. You had Ant and Deck do television
Yeah.
adverts for the Wii. That thing was everywhere. It sold massively and it was a huge success.
The price
So-
point was really nice for it.
Yeah, yeah, it was cheap.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
It was cheerful. It had good accessories. It was fun
especially-
to play.
With the new consoles
Yeah.
that came out, PS3 and Xbox 360, where they were just higher market.
Well, they
PlayStation 3 was like
600
3
quid.
Yeah,
Well,
wow,
when
yeah.
they first
Yeah,
came
when
out.
they
Yeah,
first
yeah,
came out.
it's
Terribly
ridiculous,
priced.
ridiculous.
Yeah, horrendous.
And it had no games.
Well,
At
yeah,
start,
yeah,
it
yeah,
had
yeah.
no games. It had a few games that no one wanted.
Mm.
So,
So then we go from that and we transition to Wii U. Where was the advertising? Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
And because the title, the name, what was that?
Yeah.
Wii U. Was it
The
number
branding.
2 or was
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
what was it about?
Yeah.
No one understood
I
it.
mean, Newman Boy on the day it came out, midnight.
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it? Like, I mean,
Yeah, we went, didn't
yeah,
we?
there's
Yeah.
what, 4 people in the entire shop buying the Wii U. And it's just like you can compare that to the PS4 and Xbox One launch, where people were queuing outside doors to get into it.
Yeah, I remember this
it's
kid when I was working queuing up for his
I think a
PS4.
lot of
Yeah.
people remember that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Played Monopoly
Then
and
you play
everything.
Monopoly, yeah, I was gonna say.
But that's the point.
But
I
there
mean,
was
yeah,
a
massive
line.
launch, but
It-
Wii
yeah.
U there was nothing. It was just by
It
the
just
way,
fizzled and died,
Is a
yeah.
console? Go nuts.
Yeah, it
And
didn't
went,
start very
what's
well.
this?
Not happy
No.
with that Wii U. I brought one game and that was it. I did nothing with it. Collected dust as every Nintendo mostly does. No offense to them, but they don't push enough after a few years.
After launch.
Yeah, after a few years, they're still running nicely, but their games are just limited to certain consumers like kids and parents. Whereas the first people, us, the gamers.
Right, the problem,
Hardcore.
I can see what you're saying and I don't necessarily disagree. The problem we're talking about recently, because I don't think that's true of previous Nintendo consoles, but if we look at Wii U, and you do look at the end of the Wii cycle, the problem is, with those consoles especially, third parties just got up and left.
Yeah, they did.
And
for Wii U, they didn't even
if
exist.
you took third parties away from Xbox and PlayStation, you'd have no games to play, straight up. You wouldn't have any games to play.
So the Naughty Dog's kind of hard.
Naughty
right now.
Dog. How many games have Naughty Dog made
No,
in the
they-
last 8 years?
Nothing really.
They've made like 4 games.
they
5 games.
long it
sorry.
out for their games as well. To be fair.
Yeah, but you take that away, you've got no third-party support for those consoles. You've got nothing to play. And Nintendo, to their credit, because they got so many recognisable,
Yeah,
stable
they
franchises,
were able to.
they
hold
could
that
still
forward.
churn out software.
Yeah.
But
Which
then
they did.
No one's going to play it if they've got nothing else to play.
Yeah.
You need a machine that can play more
Those
than
were
one game.
hardcore players who
Yeah,
kept
yeah.
their Wii U's,
Yeah,
Mario Karts, new Marios,
yeah.
new Zeldas.
Well, they'll always sell, and people
Still
will buy
missing-
consoles to
still
play
missing
those
Metroid.
games. But that, yeah, we don't want to talk about that at the moment. But those games, everyone will always buy. But then when you've got, say, your Kirby's and your Star Foxes, which you release at the end of system's life, no one's going to buy a console to play those games. They're the type of games that people buy if they already have the console. And if you don't have your FIFAs, your Call of Duties, your Grand Theft Autos, your Red Dead Redemptions, your Skyrims on your console, no one's going to play your console because that's the games people want to play. So we've gone on a slight bit of a tangent, so let's wind it back.
Switch.
Let's switch back. Let's talk about some of the features now. Martin, what feature stood out for you that impresses you the most about the Switch? What's something that's going to make you consider buying the Switch?
Oh. See, I'm probably going to be a little bit disliked in this room.
That's alright, I'm
See-
not liking Nintendo. Carry on.
Not a lot of what I saw impressed me enough to want to go out and buy them.
No, that's a fair enough criticism.
Like things like you have the 3 different modes, isn't it? Is TV modes,
Yeah.
the handheld modes. There's, I can't remember what the 3rd one is now.
It's like taking it out.
Yeah,
I find that quite
That's-
fiddly.
yeah.
More than anything else. Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
yes,
Controls.
yes, that's great. You can go from the televisions to handhelds, and then the little like 2-player modes where
Yeah.
you can use the little remotes and that.
Joy-Cons?
But
Yeah.
I find that all fiddly, and I probably wouldn't even bother switching over. It'd be one thing or another for the
Totally.
whole time I'm playing.
Yeah.
So that is gimmick, I guess, if you want to call it that.
It is a massive
It-
gimmick.
That's a word that people would,
I'd throw
Nintendo
back.
would hate you
Yeah, yeah,
using,
yeah.
but it's fair enough.
Yeah, it sounds great, and when you say all of these things, you go, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But on a day-to-day basis, once you bought it, I think that would irritate me quite quickly.
I can understand that actually. But then, for someone who plays portable games like his Pokemon's and having a console with his PS4, wouldn't it be cool, like you? Because there's not actually a mainstream Pokemon game
If they
in the same region as Sun and Moon on the console.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if you were playing a Sun and Moon type game on the main screen and you're like, do you know what? I'm going to pop out to work, but on my lunch break I've got that hour, so I can play Sun and Moon. I can play the same game I've just been playing on my
Yeah.
TV
And-
at work in the hour I've got.
In that sense, I do like the option of having, if I'm up in my bedroom and I'm not downstairs in the main room, and then I think, oh, I'll just pick it up quickly and play it. I like that kind of option.
Yeah.
But I think more where I was coming from is the way that I saw some of the reviews and the way it was advertised is that it's supposed to be really quick. You can just swap and change whenever you like. And I find that not pointless, but I don't find that a unique selling point for myself. But yeah, like you say, having the option of if I'm at home, then I can play it on the console. If I'm somewhere else or I'm at work or whatever, then I can use something else. Then that would be a good plus
I
point.
mean,
but
that is one of the biggest selling points of
Yeah.
the Switch is the portability.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, being away. I mean, I work away. Basically, I work offshore for. I work on vessels.
For
Basically.
MI6.
So I'm away for a lot of time of the year.
Good
Like,
idea.
but to me, that's quite appealing having a console there. I mean, I'm a PC gamer. I do have a gaming laptop which I take away with me, which is a bigger thing. But it stays on my desk when I'm away, in my cabin, and that's why I primarily play. But I also have a 3DS as well. I mean, and the Switch is quite a good idea to. I mean,
yeah, the concept's great.
I'd certainly use it. The only time I could see it taken out if I bought one would be when I travel, when I'm on airplanes, when I'm going to the country. Cause
That's
the
when I'd
ideal.
use mine, to be honest.
But that seems to be. But my only concern, even on the bus status, how big's the screen on it? I can't remember.
6.2.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's a
6.2.
tablet-sized thing to have in your
The
thing.
battery life.
6 hours. Yeah, I mean.
Well, 2.5 to 6
6
hours,
hours,
depending
yeah.
on what game you play.
But it should be
Yeah.
for all type of. But you know.
But then let's put this in perspective, because I can understand some of the hate that the battery's getting.
Yeah.
yeah.
But batteries
I'm just
always a hate.
Yeah.
You can get that on phones and everything.
Yeah,
Well,
of
this is
course.
this is the point.
Always
If,
gonna have gripes about that.
when Martin takes out his iPhone 6 Plus and he goes out and plays Pokemon Go, if he's to play it for a couple of hours, he's used the majority of his battery, because that is a heavily intense battery draining
The
game.
iPhone 6 battery. I don't know if some people have the problem.
Oh.
Their battery seems to be worse than a 5S or a 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
yeah,
something.
regardless
But
as
that's just a
well.
whole different issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
just-
like you're saying, certain games
Yeah,
do
on
take
any
away that
device.
battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if we look at the 3DS, which is considered probably the best portable ever made, I mean, I love my new 3DS. That battery life is what? If you play with the 3D slider on, is
Yeah.
3 hours, 3.5,
Yeah.
and then with the 3D slider off is 5.5.
Yeah.
So, but the resolution of those games is 480 at the most, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're talking about 1080p
to
kings.
90.
That
whatever.
well, yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
graphics.
Well, we're talking a quite
Sorry,
powerful
guys.
system,
Yeah.
more powerful than we've ever seen in a handheld before.
Yeah.
Even though it is a home console slash hybrid, that battery life, 2.5 to 6 hours, actually isn't hideous. It's not great. I'm not going to turn around to you and say right
It's
now.
enough to enjoy a game for a certain length of time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people
before.
switch off anyway.
We like the Switch.
I'm not even trying to pun there.
Just go back to the size of it as well. I mean, that 3DS is good for a reason because it is. I got the
Yeah.
XL when it's the bigger, but I can
Yeah.
still put that in my pocket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
So,
then obviously it's the clamshell, so the screens
Yeah,
are
so
protected,
yes,
yeah.
it's still, I can to point forward. I don't have to carry it back. But if I got a Switch and I was using it in the same way I use with 3DS, I'd have to get it back.
Yeah.
There's no way to carry it around, and you couldn't get something that big into a cargo pocket or in your own pocket.
No, it definitely
So
doesn't
that's
fit.
one of my other concerns. Is that I'd have to have a bag.
Talking
And that
about
limits the I don't want to say usefulness, but the portability of the 3DS.
Yeah, I understand.
Talk,
what you're
talk
saying.
about bag and stuff. They were like, Nintendo themselves were saying having like, this is all like to do with the online on it. They were saying about using your mobile as an online like feature to talk to people and stuff.
Which is good.
So they were saying like, you could have your bag, put your console in the bag, put your phone in the bag, and when you want to go online or whatever while you're out and stuff.
You can
have-
tether off the phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the whole like going somewhere with your portable device and then having your phone just seems a bit gimmicky, like you were saying, to switch over. I'm not doing any puns. Just to switch over and
Which-
have it all on the internet.
Well,
and
that's
stuff.
the point of
It's
the
not-
name, I guess, is
Yeah, it's everything's a
It's
switch.
switching
It's
over,
like
isn't it? So we're gonna-
what
it's gonna-
Xbox One tried to do with their system. Everything was supposed to be one feature in that console, but it didn't work out very well for them. But
Well, they had to backtrack, didn't they?
Yeah.
On a lot of things, Xbox.
so this is what I'm worried about for Nintendo Switch. Are they going to start backtracking on a certain stuff of it? So where are
No,
they
I
going to go
don't
for that?
think-
You reckon they're just going to carry on with the same concept, go through?
Oh, it's all or nothing with that concept.
Yeah,
the
this is
concept
their
will not
last break.
change.
So yeah,
I won't go that far, but yeah, I can see what you're saying.
they've got money. Yeah, they can always be a toy company again and whatever.
Oh, they've made a lot of money.
And especially the Wii 3DS success, they did really well.
Yeah,
Everyone
and
had one in their
They
household.
got their other ventures, like they're doing their theme park
Yeah,
venture with Universal.
and
They're
the
looking
apps
at
with phones and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mario Run's been a big success. Pokemon Go was a massive success. A sleeper hit. No one's well, wasn't even advertised.
I
and it
didn't
became
expect that
massive.
at all.
Yeah. I don't think that's a worry. But then at the same time, Nintendo is a company. It has investors. If their
Yeah.
investors are saying, "We don't want you making consoles anymore.
It was-
we want
yeah.
you doing something else," at some point they're gonna have to
Absolutely.
cave into what the investors say.
I guess what's different, thinking about it at the moment, it's different from like Sony with PlayStation, Microsoft with the Xbox, is that Nintendo have proven experience in both handhelds
Yeah.
and console.
Very good point.
Yeah. Whereas
So if
Sony's
any company was going to do it,
It's
it
going to
would
be
probably
Nintendo.
Yeah,
yeah, it's all
because
about
Sony struggled when they brought out their Vita and
Oh, the Vita's died, hasn't
what
it?
else did they? They had two.
They had the PSP
That's it.
original and then the PSP Vita,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, technically, that was an impressive machine.
Yeah.
It was a kit, but again,
Yeah.
it was expensive.
And
very
the cartridges
expensive.
were like something else.
Oh,
They
the
had like a
UMDs,
disc.
wasn't
Yeah,
they?
So
yeah.
the USB discs.
Yeah,
But
the,
that
That's a big thing for is the price of it. I mean, the Vita was
Yeah,
PSP was
true.
it was expensive. It was almost double. Well,
and their whole Wi-Fi features.
It was-
they had two consoles.
it was a
didn't
lot
they?
more expensive
Yeah.
than the 3DS at the time.
Mm.
And again, availability of games and there's a lot more. The precipice of hardware, but it wasn't worth paying that extra cash for a little bit better graphics and more expensive games. So
and
that's
the answer was no, because
Yeah.
the 3DS has gone on to sell over 60
Yeah.
million units, and I don't think the Vita's even struck 10.
No.
Maybe not even struck 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. That's just off the top of my head. I didn't properly research
Yeah,
it.
but that's the point. It's the selling. It's the price point. Of
Yeah.
Most things in life now, especially with where it is now, is how much people are willing to pay for that object.
Definitely.
And if you outprice that, people are not going to pay it, not going to buy it. It's
Right, so now you've mentioned price, I think
Yeah.
that's a point we should, because it seems like we're dealing with the negatives first rather than the
Yeah.
positives.
Get the bad out first.
I think the price point is quite steep. I must be quite frank.
I agree with you.
I think when in an era that you can buy now, like Martin did recently, a PS4 for 250 quid. We're not talking the Pro, we're talking the standard PS4. which is the new slimline version. That is about 250 quid now, and then the
Same with the
Pro
other
is
models, really.
the Pro is 350.
350.
What's the Xbox now? Not. It's going to be around
It's-
250.
The Xbox is
200,
the same
isn't it?
as the new Xbox.
Well,
Scorpio.
not the Scorpio.
The
We're talking
S.
about the S. Yeah, the S
it's
is
the same price as the PS4.
Right. So
Yeah.
again, so on that basis, the Switch is at least 20, 30 quid more than those.
Plus
Uh,
the games.
At best, it's going to be on par with those consoles, not better. Yes, it has the added advantage of being a portable device as well as a home console with a touchscreen, which is a multi-touch screen like you have on your mobile devices, on your iPads, which is brilliant, with motion control HD run board sensors, which we'll go on to a bit more after we've tackled this topic. That is expensive, and that is 280 without a
280,
game.
yeah.
You're buying so you're spending at
Yeah.
least,
At least
if you want a game,
320
320 on a
30,
console.
Just to play devil's advocate right here, I mean, it's a handheld device and it's pretty much tablet size. So how much a tablet?
Well, the cheapest
400.
tablet, yeah, like an iPad Mini is what, 270, 280?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because tablets have a different use to what the Switch is
I
going
guess
to be.
yeah, it's multi. It's
Yeah,
got more
but-
than one. It's not
But
just.
it's
yeah.
you'll get for intents purposes comparing it to that sort of size thing.
Sure.
Is the price point is probably a portable object. But right, but for a console itself.
I can see what you mean.
But the thing is, the Switch is both. It's a portable and a console. So
But then let me just flip that on its head a minute. Hypothetically, say the Switch is not that much more powerful than a Wii U, because the last couple of generations, going back to the Wii, let's scratch the Wii because the Wii was a huge success. But
Yeah.
let's look at Wii U. So the Wii U came out like a year and a half before PS4 and Xbox One. It was more powerful than the previous consoles, the PS3 and the Xbox, but barely more powerful. So and it was expensive when it first came out. It was like 300 to 350 when it came out. It come out a year later. You've got these devastatingly more powerful consoles, and I use that word quite. I want to emphasise it because you look at the numbers the PS4 has done. The PS4 is a juggernaut. It is smashing through
Still
things
going
like.
as well.
I think it sold 60 million units already.
Xbox One did catch up for a bit last.
Well, even
end of
still.
last November or something like that. But
It's nowhere near, but it's still big.
PS4's just
Yeah.
again just jumped up with
Yeah.
their new 4K system.
Yeah.
So
You automatically within a year your console's almost out of date. If we're talking people who were just concerned with horsepower, that console was out of date within a year. So if we're going on that same basis again, that the Switch is between a Wii U and a PS4, hopefully closer to the PS4, you are getting a console that is less powerful, more expensive, and actually it's out of date already because it's less powerful than a standard PS4 and it's a hell of a lot less, well not a hell of a lot less, but it is a lot less powerful than a PS4 Pro. And then that's without considering the Xbox Scorpion, which is guaranteed to be the most powerful console released when it comes out, next year? Is it next year?
As
it's
they keep
slated for?
saying, yeah.
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 So, what? I mean, I buy games because they're good to play, but there's a certain
Entertainment, yeah.
there's a certain point. There's a lot of people that buy games because they look pretty, or they buy a version of a game because it's prettier than the other one. So what is the Nintendo's answer to that? Because if they're using that same tactic again, and it blows up in their face, they've only got themselves to blame.
Yeah, of course.
But they are not betting on, but the portability having that.
That's
project,
what they are, yeah.
That's selling it as the main selling point.
Yeah.
Is the portability of it.
Yeah.
They keep saying that it's
If you wanted
going to be this HD thing,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, but it is selling on
yeah.
that
But
portable.
if you wanted just something to stay in the house, you simply buy a PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
or,
exactly,
yeah.
That's,
exactly.
it just that's.
Or that Scorpio that's
Yeah,
coming out.
you don't-
Even though Xbox is having their own problems, they cancelled Scalebound or something.
Yeah, Scalebound.
Yeah.
They're going to be their big hit, and
Yeah.
they just cancelled it. Not even like saying numbers, what happened.
Yeah.
They just said,
Yeah.
look, this is not working, cancel it. So with them, they're having their own problems. So with Nintendo now, in this little time, they could put out some more games. But that's what I'm worried about with the Nintendo is their games.
Right. Okay. So you'll say it's that's tackle another criticism there, and you fear something Martin mentioned, the launch lineup. It's quite sparse. Even for a new console, I'd say it's quite sparse. I'll take again. We'll tackle positives in a minute, but let's tackle the negative first. Launch day, you've possibly at the moment only got 5 games.
But the one game is the killer, and we all know that one game will probably sell out, and then they'll be in trouble again because they need to get more games to come out to handle that.
Well, we'll tackle that after because I agree, and I actually agree. There's another.
Fired up.
I agree. There's 2 killer games on launch day. I'd argue there's 2,
Okay.
and we'll talk about that after. But let's again.
Well,
But again, Martin was saying earlier about the lack of software that he has available to him if he was to buy one on launch day, because Martin likes Zelda, but he's not a massive Zelda fan. Martin likes your Wii Sport type of games, but 1-2 Switch to him isn't a killer app. So your alternatives are Bomberman R, Bomberman, and 2 other games. Quite frankly, I've not got a lot of interest.
they don't
in.
even have their new IP, which is the ARMS.
No, but that's in the launch window.
It's in the launch window, which could be coming out like 2 days or a week after.
It's within
Or
6
a-
months, isn't it?
Yeah, or a month or so. But that's
So
really
basically-
stressful for
Yeah,
me.
they're only it's the games that are for the hardcore
yeah.
fans. So I enjoy the Zeldas and everything else, but I wouldn't say I'm a massive hardcore like yourself. You really love these games. I'll play them, I enjoy them, but it's not something I will go out actively seek.
No.
So to me, to buy a console where 2 games I might be interested in but not too bothered by on a launch day is not for me anyway.
Yeah.
But it's my preference. I tend not to buy stuff when it first comes out anyway.
Wait out. See
I
what
wait
goes.
out, make sure my job anyway. I'm not
Yeah,
be
you're
there.
not even here.
Not there half the time anyway. But it's the pre-ordering culture right now is a whole different subject we can talk about for hours in itself. But I tend to avoid that. It's just my preference. So I wouldn't be there buying it on.
Launch day.
Even if it came out with 10 million good games, so it's not who I am. But,
Yeah.
but I can see. For a layman's person, you could look at it, I might pick it up on launch day. Games there, well, I might buy it, but I'm not much going to play on it. So it's,
Especially because you said, obviously, look,
Yeah.
I've got it now, but I've got to go the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
day, so I have no time.
but then going back again, but going
But
back,
that's the portable version.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could always take
Yeah.
it.
but the PS4 and Xbox One
You
when they
said
came out,
Nintendo.
Oh.
yeah.
This guy's on commission.
But even going back to the PS4 Xbox One lineup, there wasn't many big games when they first came out.
Yeah.
No.
Going back to PS3 and Xbox 360,
Yeah,
again, it wasn't a
PS4.
massive lineup.
I
No.
think for Xbox 360, they did have. They really pushed for that 360. I think it was really big because it changed a lot of PlayStation fans
Yeah.
straight to Xbox. I was one of
But
them.
because of that, I mean, it seems to be people are pushing for this. I want 20 games on lineup on start. That's a big investment for companies to do
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose so, yeah.
Why would you release a game on an untested piece of software?
Yeah,
on
exactly.
hardware?
That's the point I would have made.
It's like I can see why there's only games. A lot of developers are going to go, right, okay, this new console coming out. Well, we're just going to hold back until see how it does. All right, it's selling well. Let's make a game for it.
It's basically 3DS all over again. I can see it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a double-edged sword, though,
It
isn't it?
is, yeah.
Because we sometimes forget as fans that the gaming industry is a business.
It's a corporate
So,
thing.
if it was your money, would you invest in something that has no trial and error?
Yeah, it's just true.
Secondly, I could see both sides. See, to me, launch. For all the criticisms that Wii U gets, it had great launch games.
Go in there.
What's that?
You go in there.
It did have a good launch. It had a good set of games at launch. Very good games. Good first party, good third party support. The Wii had brilliant support at launch because it was the Wii.
and
and
had
they-
their third parties with them.
Yeah,
at launch,
exactly.
To be fair,
And the GameCube, in my opinion,
awesome console.
was the best launch lineup that I've ever seen from a console. Like in the first month, so we're talking launch window slightly, you had like Luigi's Mansion, you had Star Wars Rogue
Yeah.
Leader, You had
Was Star Fox a launch game? I can't remember.
Star Fox Assault was not a launch game on the GameCube, thank God.
No,
Oh, you're thinking Star Fox
the
Adventures.
one, yeah.
That was a launch
Okay.
window game, but
Okay.
not a launch game. But Smash Bros then come out like 20 days later.
Oh, it was so good.
And so you've got 3 big hits in that short space of time that we've all spent plenty of time playing. Now,
That's just very briefly going on to Smash Bros. Why isn't that?
A launch, yeah.
If it's a console that's made for Smash Bros,
Yeah.
this is it. Why don't you have your own screen round a table playing Smash
Yeah,
Bros? That seems to me
Agreed.
critical
Like
area.
small table, everyone's got
Yeah.
one on the table. You can take the Joy Cons out. You can have it as the controller.
I mean,
It's there in front of you.
that seems to me madness to have that as a launch title.
Martin would buy a launch for
Of course he does.
To be honest, I probably would as well.
I
yeah,
probably would too.
If you were goal player, right, it comes out first day, let's all buy it, we come around, have some beers, whatever.
The joke. Oh yeah,
Sit
the
here.
internet's not there then, because it's
Yeah.
like a few months after.
Well, my house. So.
No,
Internet's still not at Martin's house.
no, they don't.
Carrier pigeons.
Send him some games.
They don't have.
Accept my
internet-
friend request. 3 months later. Denied!
They don't have internet at launch day, which is bizarre.
No, they do.
Is it actually?
Of course they do. Yeah, they do have.
It's just free, and they're
It's
doing a
free.
price plan
It's free
later
until
on.
the fall. Yeah. So
Right.
the online service is a subscription-based service like Xbox Live, PlayStation Network,
right, yeah.
and it's free until the fall.
Right. Okay.
So
I got
there
that
is
all wrong.
internet on day one. I was going to say that would have been a silly mistake to make, especially with like Mario Kart coming out like the next month. I'll tell you why Smash Brothers isn't at launch, and I'm kind of glad because Mario Kart comes out a month later in the launch window,
Yeah.
which I'm pleased with because that is the best ever Mario Kart ever made. So it's a remastered version.
Yeah.
I don't mind that because of how good that version of Mario Kart is. Don't get me wrong, the Smash Brothers on Wii U is probably the best Smash Brothers ever made, even though Phil and I will say, actually Martin, Phil and I will say Melee is the best Smash Brothers
Yeah.
ever made. But if we're taking the passion out of it, it's probably the Wii U is the most definitive version of that game ever made. It tells me one or two things. They are just doing a remaster, but they're actually doing more
Story
than
mode.
just.
It's
Well, yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna
They're
happen.
giving us
It
big.
won't happen.
It's going to be like a Smash 1.5 rather than a just straight up. Oh, we're going to give you slightly
new one.
shinier graphics
Yeah.
and an extra character,
Yeah.
which I don't mind. But what I would prefer is just a new Smash game.
Yeah.
I
overall.
don't. Yeah, overall, I think
Yeah.
we'd all agree. As brilliant as the Wii U version of Smash is,
I take it
let's
very-
play the
yeah,
next Smash
I
game.
take it
We
very-
don't. Let's not remaster an old one. Let's just play the new one. And I think that's why it's not in the launch window. And I
Yeah.
think you will see it next year, though. I
E3.
do think you will. It might be E3, yeah. Super Mario Odyssey is going to be their big thing at E3. Don't even say that. That game looks unreal. That is coming up in the positives.
Isn't it
Um,
Mario?
It's Mario GTA, mate.
Yeah, I was just about to say Mario
Yes.
GTA Odyssey.
Let's go! I'm not a prostitute.
Ah!
Luigi.
It's got no brow.
What do you mean it's gone, Lou?
Shall we move on to positives now?
Yeah, positive,
we
yeah,
have.
move on.
Look, right.
Because we have slammed this console.
We are.
And we're not here to do that. We are here to.
Give
We're
it
gonna
that-
get a
give
lot-
it a bit of tender loving.
Well,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
Nintendo fanboys are going to be attacking our video.
Yeah,
dislike,
it
dislike,
is.
dislike.
Yeah.
We hate you. And do you know what? I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I'm just realistic.
Yeah.
I want this to succeed.
We
So,
all do.
Oh,
we all
yeah,
do.
we're not saying that
yeah,
we don't
yeah,
want
it.
I
Yeah.
want it to.
I don't know, Martin. You're a bit edgy sometimes.
It's
that
like
kid
to go
like,
against the grain.
he just,
Yeah.
because he just likes to see the world burn.
Ah.
But
Oh,
actually,
my
one more negative, which is you propose I don't see me. I say it's
You can help yourself, could you?
Let's go to the positive.
Just very briefly, you touched on it. Is the paid online?
Yeah.
I mean,
You think that's a negative?
I think that's a negative
Okay.
because Nintendo was the last bastion of hope for that.
To be fair, they
I mean,
had to, man.
The thing is, I'm a PC gamer, and I'll never ever pay for my online gaming in my life.
He's part of the master. He's part of the master race. He's better than us.
Downloaders, shipping PCs.
Yeah.
What?
but no, but I mean,
Yeah.
to me that's negative. So I don't see paying for an online service.
I'm actually going to give Nintendo love for this. They had to. They had to go that paying route because when you play on Wii U, it was terrible. Just lagged all over the place. You need payment to improve it. That's what I feel.
I think the Wii U games that had online built into them as
Mario
a
Kart
big feature,
Smash.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Smash.
Wow, Smash was slow at some points.
But that's people's
If
internet
yeah,
connections.
but
That wasn't Smash. Smash was brilliantly done. On the Wii U, it was terrible for online, but on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers Wii U were brilliant online games. Splatoon.
Splatoon was a good game. I did try it.
Minor,
Anyway, that's my personal
Yeah.
opinion on it.
I will agree
Yeah.
with Phil on this one because I love the way the PlayStation Network for the I pay them 40 quid a year. I get 2 free games a
Yeah.
month, and I get to play
And
online.
sometimes they
So-
feel a bit special and give you 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Xbox have been doing it for a while.
Xbox
and
is
Xbox
kind
are
of
still
doing-
probably the kings of
Yeah,
doing
they're
it.
doing it really well.
But if Nintendo were giving me 2 free virtual console games a month, which is the
Easy
rumor at the
games.
moment, which is like SNES and SNES games, they're some of the best games ever made. If you're
We-
giving me them for free,
We've
I
had
don't
them,
mind paying.
we've
Take my
had
money.
them several times though. Over. You reckon you?
Phil,
I
how
could do
many
it again.
times were you?
Everyone will always have nostalgia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
suppose, yeah.
How many
Yeah,
times
that's it.
is Martin going to play Pokemon Yellow? How many times are you going to play
Always
with
with
yourself?
Got him.
So
Sunshine. Let's go Sunshine.
Yeah.
I like that, Phil.
It's what it is. It's how I view it. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm primarily a PC gamer in this console heathens.
Right.
Here.
Positive.
Positive.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
well, we did a mid one, so we did negatives, and we did a sort of negative,
Yeah.
sort of positive. So let's just do all positives.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda! It's
Like I said, it's a system,
Shock brought something.
system killer. It is.
Zelda! Zelda! Well, that's
What
actually
was
kind
that
of-
song again then?
It's not Zelda, is
That's
it?
Link.
That's
bro.
Link, sorry,
bro.
Link.
Get it right.
That's it, yeah,
I
yeah,
linked-
that's it now.
Rookie.
I am a...
More dislikes.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Zelda looks phenomenal, even though to begin with
System seller.
it's a Wii. It was a Wii U. It's a Wii U game, and yes, it's slightly up res. It's not built from the ground up for Switch. It looks unbelievable. And do you know what? I wanted to watch this Switch event and think, I don't need to see any more Zelda. Zelda is good enough for me.
Skyrim, mate.
But then they throw that final trailer in, and you're like, what is
Yeah,
this?
it's Zelda-
This is unbelievable. Every
Zelda
time I see
Skyrim.
it. This is one thing Nintendo have got right with their advertising and promotion. The way they promote, considering the
big games.
negatives with Zelda, i.e. it's been massively delayed, and no one knows when it was actually coming out for a long, long time.
It was like
The promotion
Final
of
Fantasy
that,
all over again.
yeah, the promotion with that game has been phenomenal. Showing up at E3, the trailers
The
that they've
only,
had.
the only
Game, and it
at
takes
E3.
gamers show, and people are like, "Oh my god, we need to play this game."
People just went and
Yeah.
played it
Yeah.
full on.
I mean,
The only game.
has there ever been a bad Zelda game?
No.
Not to my knowledge.
Wow.
Apart from the Philips CDI
Philips.
ones, but
no
we
one
don't
knows,
even
no,
know.
no,
no
no,
one
yeah,
knows
no.
Those
that.
actually weren't made by Nintendo. They were licensed. That's when Nintendo started. Just to get a brief overview, Nintendo briefly dabbled with giving their license properties out to other people.
Movies.
So that's when you got the Super Mario movie. Yeah, and the CDI.
That was a good
exactly.
film.
The face is sick.
When Mario gets kissed by that black girl, I was like, yes, Mario, that's my
So it's a redeeming feature of that film.
Just that film. And
apart
he gets
from
those
with-
spring boots. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we're going off topic.
Oh my
God. Going old school. Woo.
Right, so Mario solves racism. That's the only thing. To be fair,
So
it's
good.
worth the price then, I
So
suppose.
Haters.
In Trump's America, that movie will get banned.
No politics. here.
Another politics podcast.
No politics.
Yeah, so the trade, like Zelda itself is probably the highest regarded. If you take away Mario, it's probably the highest regarded.
I would say Zelda over Mario any day. I'm sorry.
no, of course. But
A lot
if
of
you,
people would, yeah.
Mario is a
But they're
samey game.
They're
type
different
thing.
games. They're different types of games.
They're
Depends
both-
what
they're
kind
both-
of gamer you are.
Yeah.
Because if
They're both platformers.
Mario appeals to slightly more casual gamers.
it can do, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario Run was point proven that no matter what Nintendo do with Mario or Zelda,
True.
it works.
Everyone's still downloading.
They know how to do it. And what I was going back to what we were saying about Zelda, like Zelda is probably critically the highest regarded series in the industry. So even shout out to IGN because they're brilliant, but
George
like
Last.
they just revamped their top 100 list just to give a testament to Nintendo. 6 of the top 10 games of all time in the IGN list, including number 1, number 2, and possibly number 3 were all Nintendo games. Two of them were Mario games, and one of them was a Zelda game. And Zelda had 3, was it 3 or 2 games on the list? Either way, it was Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time were in the top 10. For Mario, it was Super Mario World 3, which was number 1. Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES. Super Mario Bros. The original, and Super Mario World, and Super Mario 64 as well.
Brilliant games.
Yeah, those are all
Game
brilliant
one,
games.
yeah.
And so
Something
anytime
else.
that appears on a system, that's the only time Nintendo doesn't worry, because they know they're going to sell.
Well, this is why they decided to release it on March 3rd with the console itself.
That
So
was big, because there was a lot of rumours
people
going
wa-
around.
People watched the trailer and they were like, "Come on,
Yeah. They were dying with anticipation.
when's it coming out?"
Yeah.
and
Because
then they did the sign at the end,
and
the
everyone
day.
literally lost their shit.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought the game was delayed,
They-
because
again,
that's what all the rumours were
Rumors
pointing
June
to.
or July,
Yeah.
summertime,
And
and
that-
they just threw it in there.
They had
March
well,
1st.
They kind of had to as well,
Did they
because
though?
there's
'Cause
nothing else.
they apparently they still might have needed to put work into it, but they've
No.
got time, I suppose.
How many years they've been working on it?
2 years.
2 years. They've been
Three.
working on a lot more than they've started development on that after they finished Skyward Sword.
Oh wow,
So when was Skyward Sword?
jeez.
2011. No,
Nearly
2010,
6.
I think. Yeah, because
6 years.
yeah, so 6 years. That's a big.
Another thing I got wrong. Oh,
That's not like you.
I don't like Nintendo. Yeah, positive.
So yeah, Zelda is a killer app. It's gonna sell bucket loads. It's probably going to be Game of the Year. I'll happily state that now. I can't think of the contenders for Game of the Year at the moment are shaping up to be Legend of Zelda, Mass Effect Andromeda, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I laugh every time I say that.
Red Dead, is it coming this
Red
year?
Dead if it comes
If
this
it
year,
comes this
and
year.
God of War if it comes this year.
Ooh, so excited.
And Zelda will always be it's always going to be a contender. And
It's a gamer's game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
what it is.
Story,
Definitely.
If you
gameplay, and obviously because now it's Skyrim, there's even those type of people who play Skyrim which could be like, I've got to get Zelda.
Exactly. So yeah, Zelda for me is a big plus. But even if it wasn't coming out on Switch or there wasn't a new console, I'd still buy it on Wii U.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
it's
You
that
have
type
that
of game.
option, so yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I like, the positive about
Yeah,
this
go,
whole
go.
Nintendo Switch is third party. Hello again.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
better.
back.
It's better. I wouldn't say it's perfect.
Yeah,
but I'd say it's
obviously
better.
down the line it could end up like the Wii U. They could just all think.
I
"This is not
don't
for us."
think so.
No, I think they've got it all set for this one.
If you want me to be frank, I think this might not be as big as the Wii, but I think it's going to be a big hit for Nintendo, and I'll tell you why, because this will be my other positive, and I'll link the two together. HD motion controls
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
and 1-2 switch. Think of why, I know you're going to hate this, but think of why people bought the Wii. Why did people buy the Wii? Instantly
Sports,
recognisable.
man.
You had your grandmother swinging this
Yeah,
remote
Wii
in front of the TV.
Sports.
It was easy to do. 1-2 switch looks like that game again.
I know I'm going back to a negative, but that should have been included. I know.
Price wise, yeah, I can see what you mean, but it's there.
Or they
it's
just
on
pay the
launch.
higher price. And it should have been a second
Oh, but
option,
then-
another option.
Selling a console for $280 is more attractive than selling a console
Yeah.
for $300.
Of course, but it should have been that extra.
Either way,
choice.
it's there. It's on launch day. It looks
It does look
like
Christmas
it's
fun.
gonna be the type of thing
Birthdays
that
and Christmas.
we take to our families.
Well, see, the main plus point that I always thought of with this is that most of my gaming is done around with other people.
Yeah.
I spend so much more time playing games with others rather than on my own.
Yeah, that's more
So,
it's fun.
and
Family
yeah, and
game.
that would then, in a sense, this would be something that would appeal to me more, especially as you have the three different options. Although I, in the way, slated it a little bit before because of the transferability of it, but like having that little tabletop option, being able
Yeah.
to switch between different controllers, different modes, even having the little ones, although they may be a little bit fiddly, I'm sure it's easy enough to get used to after a while. That easy play with a group
Well,
of
it's,
people.
it's good. Going back to Smash Bros, you had the option to play on the Wii U, play
Yeah.
on the DS.
Yeah.
I mean, that's-
Wii U was.
Oh, there
smart
was
with
so
that.
many controllers.
Yeah, but that's similar to the way it's going to be now. I mean, if we say we all had a Switch,
Apparently
and then
there
go
is
around to yours to play Mario Kart or Smash Bros. One of the big multiplayer games. We just all bring our Switches around,
Yeah.
sit there and have our own screen and play.
Apparently, you
Yeah.
can. They're looking at putting the Wii controllers for certain other games as well. So
I don't see.
I did read up something about that.
I think
anyway.
that's a bad idea because of the Joy-Cons and how much of a
powerful
step
they are,
above they
yeah.
are the Wii, and the fact that you're trying now to sell new peripherals
Yeah.
rather than the old
The old
ones.
ones.
Because the technology in the Joy-Cons, and this is going back to the point I was making about the positives, the technology, and this is why I could see why they justified the price point, is phenomenal in those controllers.
Especially when they're separate. and
Yeah.
They've got the sounds of the
Yeah,
HD.
you've got the IR
surround
sensor,
sounds
which
there.
can sense movement
Yeah,
and distance.
I watched like a video where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
with the controller, that's insane. It just can read what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like rock paper scissors.
Yeah,
It's
so
insane.
we can
It
sense
read,
your
yeah.
movements, and so there's that effect, and also the HD rumble, so it can sense and give you sensations of. The example that Nintendo used was ice in a glass. So the example they use is they gave you a glass with an ice in,
Yeah.
and so they rumbled the controller to show that sensation, and then they put more ice in the glass, rumbled the controller, and it showed the glass had changed, got heavier, and there was a different sensation because there's more ice cubes. And then they filled the glass with water, rumbled it again, and that was a completely change in sensation again.
That's similar to how they do it on the VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing,
They call it
haptic feedback.
Haptic feedback.
Basically it tricks your mind. So I don't know. Have you guys been on VR yet? Have you played on?
Phil
I
has
played the PlayStation.
Have you tried one of the HTC, the big PC ones?
Yeah.
My
Obviously,
main
PC. Yeah, they put
Yeah.
those into that one.
But I watched a talk on it a couple of years ago at EGX, where one of the guys that Steve was developing it, and basically that's how they trick your mind into thinking things, because you can see the object, you got to pick up the object off, and just having a small little rumble in your hand when you touch something is enough to trick your
insane,
mind,
Yeah.
and you're now picking up an object.
Yeah.
It's similar concept to the these
Yeah.
actually is to have the tricking your mind to thinking
It's just
it's
sounds.
changed.
And
Sounds
that-
and
That makes me believe in some of the rumours that we were talking about previously, how Nintendo's device is going to be compatible with VR, because they've got the setup there, and the rumours at the moment is it's going to be like the Samsung VR device, where essentially later on they'll release the headset and you pop the screen in and you've got these haptic feed handles in your hand. But the Joy-Cons themselves, they're very compact. They look quite sturdy. There's a lot of sensation and feedback from them. They are really brilliantly clever pieces of kit for something that's so small, quite frankly.
all of it itself is really
As long as they utilise properly the games, they should be really good.
Well, again, so 1-2 Switch is going to be that game that introduces the concept to
It's just
people
like-
and gets them sold on
Yeah.
it, and that is what the Wii U had missing,
Yeah.
and what the Wii did have, and that was the reason why the Wii did so well, because it come out the gates, it had something that was relatable, and people could
And they
see
used the peripherals like the controllers.
Exactly.
They used it all.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where the Wii U, they had this screen. No one really knew what to do with it.
No, they didn't.
But that's a flaw. A lot of these peripherals, the Wii U screen and the Xbox Connect.
Connect, yeah.
That's the prime example of that. Yeah, Connect, technology-wise, was phenomenal.
It was
And
insane.
a lot. I mean, I don't think any people use it now. Or university study it.
They don't even sell them with the console anymore.
No, but
separately.
But that was it should be an absolute, it should be a game changer. But no one knew what to do with it and how to integrate that into games, so it never got used. So you got
Fingers crossed for them.
That's I mean, it's not negative for the Switch. It's just obviously I hope they utilise it, and
Oh, yeah,
of course
the
you
do.
Switch is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be a game that utilises it.
Because that was the
So-
problem with Wii U, that at the beginning they had games that promoted the second screen,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden it just became the glorified inventory, or in some games it didn't actually do anything at all, it just displayed the image you had on the TV.
yeah. Going back, so that's a totally different tangent, but going to second screen, the best use I've ever seen on that is Fallout 4.
Fallout 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
You can get your tablet, download the Fallout 4 app, and have the Pip-Boy on your tablet while you're playing on the main screen.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
PS4,
Yeah.
Xbox One, or the PC would all do that. So you'd have your little inventory screen on your tablet next to your while you're playing.
Okay.
So I just
That's what the Wii U tried.
Well, the Way you did that, but then to
Some
me, if
games,
you've got a
yeah.
second screen,
Look
So
at
you-
Donkey Kong. for example.
Yeah,
just blank screen.
Yeah, nothing on it. But then you look at
that blank screen.
Yeah.
if you had something like Zombie U, where
You
the
had to
premise
look
of the
down,
second screen,
yeah.
was built on the fact that there was something going on the screen while you was looking at the second screen,
Yeah.
which added to the tension of the gameplay. That is how you. But that to me wasn't emphasised enough and sold on enough.
No.
The isometric gaming. It was a phrase that was branded around during launch, but after that, it was like, well, what else
It's
do you
same,
do with
same
it?
with the Wii U, or not Wii U, the Wii was sold on
Motion control.
motion control.
Yeah.
which is which is where
And then it brought a whole
Yeah.
revolution of like PlayStation doing it,
yeah.
and then the Kinect
Badly.
was kind of a thing, and then
Yeah, but then that's what they go back with the Switch, which I think is a fantastic idea because that's what sold the Wii,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people play. That's what they like. It's like
Yeah.
you said, you get your family members, the parents, the grannies having a go and playing and laughing. That's the whole idea of a family console.
which I like. They're giving you the wrist strap, and we don't want a lot of TVs. People have 4K tellies now.
TVs, yeah.
People have 4K
Yeah.
tellies. They paid
Yeah.
thousands on it.
Yeah.
They may be small.
Not all of us have got thousands to spend on 4K televisions, Phil.
but I'm just saying people do.
Yeah, no, one person on this table does. And it's,
Why? Rich
Yeah.
person.
I know,
Has he
don't
got
have internet.
he's got it there, but he's got everything else. Yeah, I mean, that to me is one of the standout features. The other, and I know it sounds basic, is the multi-touch on the screen. That is a big feature for me. Again, for a device so cheap, or considered cheap in the way that you described it,
Yeah.
to have a screen that responds the same way that my iPhone is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
gives me a lot of relatability and just gives you more options to build games with.
Yeah.
They didn't really touch up on it in their conference, though.
No,
They-
but
they
it was
just said it's
nothing
there.
utilising it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
So they have to
So-
show.
you know Mario Maker's going to get a
Yeah, of
remake
course,
on Switch,
of
and you
course.
know various
what's
other
it called?
games.
The Clipper? Well, I can't remember the game where you have to cut the two pictures together and they change.
Oh, Scribblenauts.
Is it Scribblenauts though?
I think it's Scribblenauts.
I can't remember, but anyway, I know that would be a touch implement as well. So
Yeah, I
That would be
mean,
good.
again, so it also gives
another controller, basically.
yeah, and the opportunity for other game development to utilise
Yeah.
that screen. So again, something like Pokemon will be tailored.
I see you looking.
Well, yeah, we've got two really
Well,
big
so
Pokemon fans. Yeah.
When I put t-shirts, so I
Yeah.
can't really say much.
Charge that battery.
I mean, going back to, I know we touched on it as a bad point. Well, not bad point, but the portability of it. I mean, that's a major selling point.
Yeah,
It's
I
just a
love
hard.
that.
It's like
I do,
Hmm.
yeah.
be able to. I know it seems a hassle, but be able to go click and it's on your TV and then take it off when you go away. That is amazing to take it around. If it does, I think they advertise and how it does it, and how quickly it does it, and you go into a room with another Switch player, let's link up quickly and smoothly
Yeah,
and play games.
that's another thing is Switch
Yeah.
joining up together and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like that.
if they do it as they advertise, I mean, sat round, yeah, in theory it should be fantastic.
Mm.
But it depends on how well it does.
Well, yeah, I agree, because that is that is probably the biggest point they're pushing is how quick and seamless it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's what you're worried about, right? How
fiddly it
long
could
and
be.
fiddly it's going to
Yeah,
take.
yeah. And like I said, once I sat down to do something, I'm the kind of person, like I said, that plays gaming with a group of people. So something like that doesn't really mean a lot to me because I'll be playing with a group of people. And once I'm finished with that, I'm finished playing for that session. And I doubt very often I'm going to be taking out and putting it back in when I'm with a group of people playing.
No,
So
of
it
course.
doesn't, to me, like as the type of gamer that I would be, it doesn't really have many benefits. To what
Some games might force you to take it out.
I ain't buying them.
I think that's the whole point of 1-2 Switch, isn't it? Like you take it out, you don't use
Yeah,
the
yeah,
screen.
you can. So yeah, there's very little that actually happens on the screen.
There's
So
one.
it's
I think
more
there's one
emphasised.
game where it tells you to fire, and you have whoever pulls out faster. So I do like the
Doesn't get their girlfriend pregnant.
no, why?
That's
Why,
called
oh,
1-2
why?
life.
But
That's about Peggy.
we
really.
can't.
Peggy, you too.
But we can't really comment on that how smooth it's going to be yet, because I mean Nintendo has shown it to be really smooth, but of course Nintendo are going to show it to be smooth,
because
aren't
they've
they?
had a lot of
Because-
time
because
with
they
it.
want,
Yeah.
they want to sell it. So then until we get into the hands of reviewers and hands of actual people, then they comment on. We can't really comment on how smooth it is. Yeah.
This guy.
Well, yeah, I've
Much
also
for-
pre-ordered
He'd be
mine.
there
yeah.
at 1 o'clock in the morning.
No,
going,
I-
right, guys, I've got it. It's there. Let me open this bad boy.
We're two
Here's
people
the
in-
Joy-Con.
We're
Here's
two
the
people-
console.
we're two
The
people
whole
in it
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
seamless thing. Look at
Reviewing
my
it as
hands.
it's buying.
Yeah. Give me the box, man.
I won't be doing that because this time I've pre-ordered it with Nintendo, so it's going to be sent to my home.
Oh, so be in the morning, you just be there like, oh, guys, look,
Well,
it's arrived at my door. You'd be doing the whole,
FaceTime.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
FaceTime with the postman and everything. Mate,
This
shake-
dude's just changed my life!
Yeah, shaking his hand and then, come in, I got a cup of tea, come on, a cup of tea. And you just open it up in front of
wanna
him.
do
Complain,
one.
complain.
Yeah. 1, 2 switch, 1, 2 switch.
Have you got one?
Let me see.
Draw.
Right. I don't know if I'll be interacting with my postman that
Live?
intently, but some of what you've just said, I'm not going to lie, is probably true. I've booked some time off work 'cause it's the same week as my birthday anyway.
Oh my
So it fits
God.
in perfectly. I can ball on my birthday and then a couple of days later I'll be like, Breath of the Wild. Oh, I don't have to worry about work. I can actually just do nothing with my life for a couple of days.
If you're a bad man, you
Play your
do
free
it at
games.
night. You go
Free
all the
games.
way through the day and night, and then you go to work the next day.
Day and night.
You want that
Oh,
4K telly?
oh.
You gotta make that money.
Oh.
I'm joking.
I don't.
I'm joking.
Not at the moment.
Let's carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. So in regards to, it was a bit of a negative, but I think it's a positive as well. The launch lineup, so the launch window to the end of the year, I'd say launch day isn't particularly strong. If you took Zelda out, to me you wouldn't have a lot, but it's Zelda, so you can't do that. It's like taking like Sanchez out of Arsenal and Messi out of Barcelona. You can't.
It can
It's
be
just-
done. They can pay for that, you know that, right?
Well, no, I don't think they can. They're completely different teams. If you anyway, the metaphor works. The metaphor works. But if the launch window itself, so you've got, and this brings me on to another positive when talking about games. So you've got the 5 games at the moment confirmed for launch. You've then got Mario Kart more or less a month later, which is
Deluxe, isn't it?
yeah, re-enhanced, new characters, new battle mode. So basically, it's
More
just
stages.
it's
Yeah.
8.5, but that's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing because that's a brilliant Mario. That's probably the best Mario
Well,
Kart
some
ever
people
made
missed out on it on
because
Wii
the Wii U
so
and Mario Kart sells systems. Mario Kart is the big
I
role
spoke
of the
to someone
thing.
the other day and he was like, I missed out on Mario Kart, so I'm getting this Switch.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless what it does.
It's a good. Actually,
That's
do you mind
another
if I
fun
sort
game.
of on a tangent a little bit? Well, not a tangent because it's a positive. I mean, one of the biggest gripes a lot of people I've heard of current generation console is now the lack of couch co-op.
Yeah, no one.
Yeah.
Many games, even Halo now doesn't have a co-op,
What's
couch
Halo?
co-op.
Hmm.
So yeah, but that's the point. It's one of the biggest bugbears of many people.
Yeah.
Maybe I remember the days of going around my mate's house on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to go to anyone's houses anymore. They're
Well,
on
no,
this
because-
internet,
because-
online.
Yeah, because we have no choice. We have to go online. I mean, that's why look at my channel again. By Rage for Gaming is tabletop gaming is massively bloomed over the last couple of years because it's a social aspect.
Social aspect.
You go around someone's house with
Talk to
a board
people,
game.
man. What's
Yeah,
that?
you play. But that's where a lot of the current cases are now lacking. That's where the Switch might be able to call them
Bring
and
it
market
back
that.
around.
Yeah.
Nintendo were good with that.
Yeah,
to
so
be fair.
now you can play games in the same room.
You'd be all over that Pokemon. For sure.
Yeah, but
Come over, man. I got a battle you. Got that next Pokemon.
We're gonna go train.
Going to the gym. Oh, you going to Virgin? No, I'm going to the one in the jungle guarded by Team Rocket.
Stop it! Wow! No, stop it!
That is as far as my Pokemon references go, 'cause that's all I know.
but that's going to be a massive plus for the Switch, is to have that ability to go around. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
lost
no,
it.
no.
But yeah, to go around
me.
and play in the same room with someone.
One thing
Even on
Nintendo's
console.
one thing Nintendo's always been brilliant at is local co-op. They're
Yeah.
kings of local co-op.
I mean, that's a massive plus, especially
Yeah.
in the current industry now. There's no that
yeah,
many games don't even do that on
FIFA.
PS4.
FIFA's one of the few games
No,
you
yeah.
still can.
no
yeah.
one couch Call of Duty anymore. Let's get that out
yeah.
of the way.
Well, no one plays Call of Duty anymore.
Well, not because of the new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's,
fine.
it's very little opportunity to do that anyway. Having that ability to go around, okay, I'll bring my Switch, we'll sit around,
Yeah,
drink beers.
and I do like that. I do like the aspect.
That's-
of
that's-
just everyone can have their own Switch,
Yeah.
have their own
Well-
screen, but play together. which is
Exactly, yeah.
brilliant.
With, even without a dock, you can tether 8 switches together.
Yeah.
Which that's impressive in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
So you could have, I don't know, us 4 and another 4 friends, but I don't think any of us have got that many friends. So,
Speak for yourself.
oh, sorry, Phil, I
It's
haven't got
okay, my
three.
mum and dad will play.
Not
This
even
guy's
Robbo.
gonna like he's got no friends. Stop lying, man. It's
Sure,
See me all your friends.
Yeah, so going back, yeah,
Seeing play
local.
SSX tricky, man. It was awful.
Oh, no.
Oh, SSX Tricky was a sick game.
Oh, I hope they bring that back.
That'd be
That was a
awesome.
sick game.
Oh, I dominate.
Well,
I'm
actually,
boss.
did you play Steep?
I didn't like it.
Oh, right, because that's coming on the Switch.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what that was like.
I
But you
did,
said it's
I
not
did
great.
put it on the group Twitter page.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't a fan, man.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so going back to Couch Co-op, though, yeah, you're right. It is a brilliant thing. So going back, again, cycling further back to game launch window, you've got Mario Kart again, so you've got your Couch Co-op, you've got the game you can
Yeah.
play with friends. Mario Kart does have brilliant online.
Yeah.
You then slightly further on down the line, or even actually, I think within a month again, you've got the new ARMS. Now, ARMS
That
looks
looks pretty
interesting.
fun.
ARMS looks like it could be the Splatoon for active sports games. So Splatoon sold brilliantly on the Wii U. I'd even say I think it's either the best or second best selling game on Wii U.
I would say the best.
I think it was Mario Kart 8 was the best, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
one of those two. So it had a successful launch considering how badly the Wii U sold.
Yeah.
People love it. So we've got Splatoon. So Splatoon was quite
It's Call of Duty
revolutionary.
for kids.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
I'm
It's
sorry.
well, it is and it isn't, because I can understand what you're saying, but the strategic element to Splatoon makes you have to be a good player. You have to be an intelligent player.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as just turning around the corner
All right,
and shooting someone in the
Battlefield,
face.
Battlefield
Yeah,
for kids.
But Battlefield for kids.
Battlefield Juniors.
Hey! I've got my pea shooter.
But no, I enjoyed that game. When I
Yeah, yeah,
played
yeah.
it at yours, I had such a wicked time.
Kinga and I played it, and it's a good game. And
Yeah.
online, it's brilliant. Yeah, so Splatoon was revolutionary. ARMS seems to be just as good, or could be just as good as Splatoon for a slightly different genre. So the idea with ARMS is the extended arm boxing game. But again, with the Joy-Con motion control, so you've got another game that utilizes that motion control
Yeah.
brilliantly. You can curve the punches, like there's special techniques and combos by movement, and it's
Yeah.
one-to-one movement again. That looks really good. I mean, I wanted a Punch-Out game because I love Punch-Out.
What's to make you think there's going to be punch-out characters there?
Oh no, do you know what? They do Punch-Out. They did Punch-Out on Wii. I don't see why they won't do it on Switch. If Switch is definitely successful, they'll do a Punch-Out game. But ARMS looks like it could be just as effective bringing those people in, like that casual crowd that actually like a bit of serious element to their gameplay.
It
And
looks
then
fun.
it looks really fun,
And
and
that's
it looks
what Nintendo are good with, is their
yeah, and it looks crazy. It looks like something we'll take the mick out of each other playing, we'll have a bit of a laugh, and then we'll be like, we'll get a sweat on doing it.
What are you doing?
Mine doesn't laugh at anything.
That's a heart attack doing it.
Yeah.
Serious.
And then in the launch window, so you've got ARMS, again, not much further down the line, you've got Splatoon 2. So you've got some big
I'm glad
franchises
they've got
coming.
two in there.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not another remake.
Yeah.
It is actually Splatoon 2, which
I was
is
very happy
good.
for that.
And I liked Splatoon. We've talked about Splatoon. Further on down the line, you've got third-party games such as
Loads
Skyrim,
of third-party games.
FIFA, which is a big one. I would like to be able to buy FIFA on my Nintendo Switch for the next until the console then gets replaced by the next Nintendo console.
Yeah.
Because I quite frankly would like to have only be a one console home.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I can have one console that plays my GTAs, that plays my FIFAs,
That's
that
what we want
plays
for Nintendo.
and that's what I
Just-
want to do as well.
Just to be not the middleman anymore.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
their own thing and
yeah,
take over PlayStation
Exactly.
and Xbox. Even though we like PlayStation and Xbox, they're a community for everyone for gaming. So
but Nintendo's the OG. They're the
They started
originators. That's what
they
they did.
carried on where
Yeah.
Sega just disappeared.
Yeah.
Sega died, unfortunately, and
Still
they still trying to kill Sonic every time opportunity they
Hey,
get.
he's still there, mate.
He is,
Their
but he's
mascot,
not the
that's
same.
who broke the leg
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
floor.
yeah. Literally
He's still our
selling
mascot
himself for
and-
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It sounds like a dirty.
He's
yeah,
a dirty, dirty hedgehog. Does anything now for cash. Street Fighter Ultra HD remake
A lot of-
looks
a lot-
unreal.
A lot of Street Fighter fans.
That is a
will
game
know that.
we're all going to be playing.
Yeah.
The remake of possibly
Be
the
terrible,
best
isn't it?
fighting game ever
Even
made.
though
Apart
they
from Phil.
recently
Huh?
just had a.
Be terrible at it apart from Phil.
Oh yeah, because Phil's just got that combo thing going on.
Sorry, I'm so good at fighting games.
Yeah.
But they-
Natural fighting.
just like,
They
yeah.
just had that Street Fighter 5, isn't it?
and that
last
was
year.
a bit of a flop.
Some things were a flop. The internet and just story wasn't good, was it, for them?
And their lack of characters at launch, wasn't it? Because they staggered released some of the characters.
Yeah.
But
Which was sad because it looked beautiful for a Street Fighter game.
it did, yes.
So where they
But
go with this one, and obviously because now you can just turn it on the side and just.
yeah, and again, like one thing they
I don't know how it's
advertise
gonna
is
work,
that you
but-
can actually just play it with the Joy-Con remote.
Just
So-
the one remote.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
what
pass
you
it
need.
to the other one
Because it's
to
still
your
got
friend.
the like a shoulder button each.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
which-
original Street Fighter only used it was on the SNES, so yeah,
The
Yeah,
two
yeah,
buttons,
shoulder
yeah.
buttons, yeah.
Just the two buttons, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, not two, but there was four. But the Joy-Con
Yeah.
remotes compensate for that. And then, of course, the big one for me is Super Mario Odyssey. Now that looks like an
That's
unreal
a
game.
Holiday game.
Yeah.
Like Christmas time.
Yeah, so that's still in the launch window. So in 2017, I know I'm going to be playing The Legend of Zelda and Mario, and to me, that's all I want. Quite frankly, I could
That's
that
what I
makes
don't-
me happy.
I don't. That's what I don't like though, because obviously, like I said, I got the Wii U, I got Smash, and then that was it. I know there was like Bayonetta, and that looked awesome. And
Bayonetta
stuff,
was unreal.
but
a
I
great
didn't
game.
want to play it on the Wii U. I would have rather played it on the PlayStation or something. That's just mine.
It didn't come out on PlayStation. It came out on
I
Wii U.
know.
So why did you buy it?
I didn't want to.
Well, then that's just you being silly.
Why you
isn't
lying?
it? Why you lying?
I just thought it was just why am I paying money for that? I just wanted some more Nintendo games, which they didn't really do. Metroid.
Yeah, we need Metroid. I think we all agree we need Metroid, but let's just leave that for now because it hasn't been announced. But I better get announced because I will not be happy if it doesn't.
So the Wii Switch. Wii Switch. Oh, now
The
we're
Wii
putting them all
Switch!
together. TM.
Oh, I hope it isn't the Wii. Yeah, so going on, I think wrapping up with Mario Odyssey. It looks like. So the one thing, one of my favourite Mario games of all time was Mario 64.
Everyone would say that.
I love Mario 64. I love I said in
It
my
did
favourite.
change everything.
In my favourite video games of all time, I put the original Mario Bros. But I was a toss-up between that and Mario 64.
was phenomenal.
64 is a revolutionary game.
It was art.
It was.
It
And
changed the game.
not just the.
Like Gabe and Newell, the leader of Steve, basically said that game was what game to got in. He realised when he played that games could be art.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It was.
And not.
Literally jumping through the photos.
Yeah.
It was
yeah, it was just such a
Yeah, it
good
was.
game. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just going back, because I love Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Super Mario 3D World, I must be honest, was okay. It wasn't great for me. It was okay. Like, I liked Land on 3DS, and I thought World, to be honest, should have gone on the 3DS, and we should have got a better Mario.
Sunshine.
Sunshine was good, so going back again to
Sunshine,
GameCube, and Sunshine had the HUD world like Mario 64. But Mario 64, for its technical revolutions, was also revolutionary for its like open world gameplay
did
they
change
promoted. It was
Platforming games did
yeah,
change.
it
after
was it was an open world Mario game, and this Super Mario Odyssey looks
Really?
like it's taken it further and added other elements of some of your other favourite gaming franchises.
that. I think they're going for like Donkey Kong World, and they're going to put him in that. and
Well,
stuff.
I
'Cause
think
there's
that
been
as
a
well.
lot of like
Yeah.
reviews and stuff where they're showing pictures of like Donkey
Yeah.
Kong little references, which
Yeah,
is pretty
yeah.
cool.
I think there is a possibility that Donkey Kong may make an appearance of being an enemy
I'm
in
gonna
this game.
see links and all sorts, man.
I don't think
I'm-
we'll go
I'm
that
throwing
far.
it
I
out
don't
there.
think
Yeah.
Link will be in there
Come
like
back to me when it's out in it.
get back to me, bro. When he's broken out of Hyrule, and he's like, "Yeah!" Like, and Mario's like, "What are you doing?"
Mate,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the hat features that they're doing with this whole
Oh
game,
yeah, yeah,
throwing
just
their hands
yeah.
to-
The
Hey,
new
you
moves
know-
that Mario has as well. It shows that they've taken a lot of time, put a lot of effort into this game. Of course, they put a lot
Why
of
did
effort
they
into
just
Mario.
use his hat before? Oh, they did, didn't they? To be fair. The
Well, they did.
fireballs and
Yeah,
changing
yeah,
into
but
a
this is
rock
completely
and a
different again,
bumblebee.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Mad, isn't it?
Luigi.
You get me.
Oh, that's never a game they should bring.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, just make it
Ah, I
happen.
can see
God,
it.
yeah.
I could see that.
Because I couldn't deal with it on the 3DS, man. It looked awesome and stuff.
It was great on the
It just
3DS.
shouldn't have been on the 3DS. It should have been somewhere else. Wii U.
They probably put it on the 3DS because they knew it would sell a lot better on the 3DS.
Yeah, because that's the thing that was going at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Still is going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
It's still a strong
I
system.
think
But
they're still doing games after. the
they're
Switch.
saying they're still committed to
Okay.
supporting 3DS, but then I don't know how long that's
What's
going to
the-
last.
But what's the point? Because their new system is the new
What?
DS.
Yeah, yes and no, but I mean, like the DS, I would take out just because of the portability of it.
Mm.
I can fit it in my pocket. I don't have to carry around a box. I don't think the Switch will fully get rid of the 3DS idea. So you can't. To me, I mean, the 3DS is perfect size. You sit in your hand, you can sit anywhere with it and play. But the Switch is just, I think, just a bit too big to have that true portability.
To be fair, putting it in your back pocket and getting scratch on it, it's just
Exactly, yeah. You got.
because it's got the same like,
Yeah.
sort of screen as an iPhone 6, say, a bit bigger.
Well, it's bigger than the iPhone
Yeah,
6.
I think
Do you wanna get scratched
I
then?
can't envision myself playing the Switch out and about on a road somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll be sat down on a bus or train or plane
Yeah.
playing that.
Well, that's where I use my 3DS anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't take it. I don't really use public transport.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take
It's
something
not.
like that. Yeah, it's not. People.
Yeah, but yeah.
So like airplane journeys, various other journeys. That's where I'd use that device. So for me, that feature is just a bonus because I quite happily, to be honest, for me, I'd quite happily have Nintendo come out like they did with the GameCube, the N64, and the Super Nintendo. Just make the most powerful console that they
Yeah.
can at the time, so it does compete on horsepower with the other guys, and then so the third parties can access it.
I just
Be
hope they
fully
stick with those
accessible.
third party because
Yeah.
that's what we really need as well.
Well, they do. They have to. If they that's why they have to make their hardware as powerful as the other consoles because it makes it easier for the third parties to develop for. Because then it's easier to port it over.
And that's where PC has their problems because obviously they're so high.
Not nowadays because
Yeah.
the PS4 and Xbox One are pretty much just scaled back PC. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The architecture
Well,
and
look at
hardware.
Batman. Arkham, was it?
That's
Arkham Knight.
that's a very rare example where a console
There was
game
a
has
few-
actually
There
been
was a
better
few
than.
games that hit the PC after the release
Which
of
I
consoles.
don't get why because the PC is the biggest platform
Yeah, I
on
don't-
compared
I-
to- It's just madness.
It just
to
didn't-
emulate.
Because it
essentially,
didn't
yeah.
run at a certain way
So-
it did on the console, so when it was scaled for
It
that,
was,
just-
yeah, that was the worst. It broke at launch and then they took it off the
Yeah.
Steam market because it was that bad. But
So let's hope Nintendo can just
yeah,
work through
I mean that's what's going to sell the console is the games.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no matter how good the hardware is, how revolutionary the hardware is, if
It's
the
the game.
games are not there, no one's going to buy it.
It
No.
has to relate to everyone.
So I mean, I really hope it's successful. I hope it's Nintendo. I hope it
Yeah,
just
same.
comes out, and I probably will be purchasing one once I've had a go and playing around one. So I know Alex is going to
Yeah.
get on
Launch day.
launch day. So hopefully it'll sell. Hopefully it'll sell well. So I don't want to see Nintendo die out into obscurity.
I don't think they
Just
ever
making
will
toys
because
Yeah.
the
Sega.
success. Well, Sega had Sonic, but they didn't have anything really
No.
other than Sonic, apart from a couple of other franchises like Shamu and things like that. But Echo the Dolphin,
Oh,
that was a
that's
great
it.
game. But Nintendo have got stable franchises, and they've got. I mean, their characters are just as recognizable and just as profitable as Disney characters are. The two
Yeah,
most
they
the
are.
two
Yeah.
most recognizable
Hence
major
when
franchises.
this theme
The
park is
theme
coming
park,
into.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's with Universal, it's not with Disney, which surprises me because I thought that was a piece of cake that Disney were going to take a chunk out of, to be honest. I thought Disney and Nintendo were going to team up and take over the world, essentially.
Didn't
Disney's
they did-
already doing that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They did for a while with that whole Mickey game that came out for the Wii.
Well, they've done a lot of projects together, Disney
They
and
do the Disney
Nintendo.
games.
Yeah,
with
but-
the little toys.
Nintendo now building theme park attractions in a competitor's theme park. I don't know if that bodes well for their relationship with Disney. I don't know if that necessarily turns around, but basically it turns around and it says Nintendo saying, look, we're competing with Disney now, which they can with their character stable, not money-wise and various other things. I mean, Disney, after all, owns Marvel and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and anything else that any person from the 80s loves. But, yeah, bringing it back round, I think Nintendo will always be there. I like the fact they're releasing iOS games. So you've got Super Mario Run, you've had Pokemon Go.
They're still
Even,
doing Pokemon. I don't know who's playing still, but
It's
Pokemon Go is
still
going
popular.
heavily.
Well, that wasn't made by Nintendo, but obviously it's a Nintendo franchise. But then you've got Fire Emblem iOS coming, you've got Animal Crossing iOS coming, and a couple of other
That
games
Animal
as well.
Crossing, as much as I
The thing is,
really
all for-
dislike
all
it,
for
will
iOS.
be a
There's
big
no
thing.
Android yet.
Well, so Mario Run is meant to be coming in Android around the time of the Switch launch, as far as I'm aware. And I'm not sure about Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing. I don't think they will have exclusivity rights like Super Mario Run did, but that's just a guess. I think that was just a thing for
Animal
Apple.
Crossing will do well
Yeah.
because it's Sims. Basically.
Yeah, and it's a type of thing that's made for iOS, isn't it? I think.
that would be.
Yeah.
It would be
So I think Nintendo are making the right moves. So even if they do start flopping the console, I don't think they'll start making consoles because they'll get to a point where they're hit again. And I
Yeah.
think they've got the money, the dedication, the reserves, and the talent to keep going and find something.
I think what's they are learning from the mistakes of the Wii U.
Yeah.
big time.
In where they're advertising, where they're selling this thing, and it's good to see them evolve as a company.
Mhm.
So hopefully, touch wood, this shall.
We shall see it as a success.
Yeah.
So
March 3rd.
before we wrap up tonight, then I'm going to ask you all 2 questions, and I want answers. So the
All right,
first.
boss.
I have ways of making you talk.
Talk, goddammit, talk!
What is your underwear? So,
I know that was the joke. Spoil.
Kill him.
yeah, the first one is: will you buy a Switch at launch? If not, when will you buy one? And the second one is: what game would you like to most see on the Switch? So I'll let you go first, Kingan.
No for at launch. Because things I've already previously stated. I will probably purchase one in the future as long as I like what I see and how it works out. Thing. Game what I want to see or looking forward to. What I want to see on it. Well, Smash Bros. Or Smash games.
Yeah,
Some sort
okay,
of reaction.
fair enough.
I mean, that's to me. That's.
I've got a feeling we're going to have some very similar answers.
But that's the most fun I've ever had of you guys in the room is playing Smash.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, man.
Even Mario Kart is a fun game. I never had quite that. I'm so bloody awful at it, but I still.
What,
have,
Mario Kart or Smash Bros?
Smash
Because you're
Bros.
pretty crap at both.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's deep. Last time he beat you, though.
That never happened.
I've been
That
here a few
never
times.
happened.
But it's so much fun in that, and if a console's made for it, it is a Switch. So
Definitely.
Fair.
Mine.
Mine's quite clearly not going to be bought on launch day because I've never bought a console on launch day. In fact, I've never bought a console within 2 years of it. so that it would be a miracle if I buy it this year.
Would you consider buying it though? If so, Smash
If-
Bros comes out and the new
He just
Pokemon
wants
game.
Pokemon, man. Come
Right,
on.
that's what I'm
I have not once mentioned that.
if
You
the
guys have
rumored
mentioned that all the time.
if the rumored Pokemon Stars comes out and Smash Bros come out and you've got a new FIFA on there, would you buy it? Well, you're definitely getting the FIFA and you're definitely getting a Smash
What,
Bros.
FIFA 18.
For FIFA 17, FIFA 18 is meant to be coming to Switch.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to have quite a few games that I'd be interested in, not just 1 or 2, to bother purchasing it.
Okay.
I don't think even if I had Smash Bros and FIFA, Pokemon, that's enough, because again, although I do enjoy playing those games, most of my game will be with other people, so I'd like to know that I've got games that are a variety
Party
of games
games.
that other people would be interested as well.
Hashtag Mario Party.
Yeah, so
No Mario Party. I hate Mario Party.
but you can all play it.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
that would be a reason. I think I'd have to know there's at least 5 games I could choose from that I'd be interested in, and know that at least a couple of different friends would be interested in each of the games.
I think that's actually a good premise. If it gives you a good barrier and it's sensible, I think from a
Very
financial
sensible.
point of view. Like for me, I'm just an idiot. I'll buy it because it's Nintendo.
You said
Yeah, well, I'm not. I can't deny it. But yeah, no, that's a pretty sensible way of looking at it, and I think Kingers is going to be quite similar to that. So Phil, launch day, what game do you want?
talk to me.
I am debating it just because I like Zelda. It's pretty cool. But as Martin's saying, I want more games for it. I don't know what else is coming. I don't want just the one game.
So mine's regardless of what's out on launch day. It's
It's
what's
just-
going to be coming out.
Yeah,
next
yeah,
year,
that's
so
what I mean.
need to have.
Throughout as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I think you will get it launch day because you can't help yourself with Zelda.
No,
There's
because
2
I-
games that will make you buy a console, and that's Zelda and Smash Bros. And you're getting Zelda day one. You will not help yourself. You'll say in this now, you're trying to
I'm
be
saying
big man
this
on
now-
campus, and you'll be like, oh, guess
Nah,
what I got? Mine's
me
there, it's
me on
rich."
camera now is saying no. I'm saying no.
Okay, you have heard it here.
I'm
video.
saying no.
If
When it
you
comes
see
to
a-
March 3rd, I still won't have it. I guarantee it.
You will see a photo on
What for?
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, March 3rd, of Phil with his Switch and Breath of the Wild. Guarantee it, 'cause he can't help himself.
I can help it.
No, you can't,
I'm
bro.
saying some-
You
I'm
can't.
doing really well. I'm off the drugs, man. I'm joking.
Whoa, this is
I'm
good.
joking, I'm
This
not
is
off the
good.
drugs.
Yeah, clearly.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
The game I do want to see on it is like everyone else. Really, just want to see Smash. Where you at, man?
Where you at?
I want to get hyped again.
We'll have to do some
Games
Let's
ain't
Play.
pushing what they used to do on me, man.
We'll have to do some Let's Plays.
When
with
someone
Nintendo
gets their
consoles.
into it and comes back from his beautiful holiday.
Yes, Martin's going to Australia.
When he does that, we
just
can
play
all
that mine.
set up.
Well,
yeah.
So we'll discuss that in a minute. So obviously I'm getting a Switch launch day.
Are you?
Don't know if you know this. Game I really want to see. I do really want to see Smash.
But
I want to see Metroid that little bit more.
dun dun
I
dun.
love Metroid
What's that
so
name, bro?
much, and they need to make up for. They need to make. We clearly didn't practice that. They need to make up for other M's, so I want to see Metroid.
Still like that game.
But
But yeah, Metroid. We are missing Metroid. Where you at, girl?
I need to see Samus again, not in Smash Bros as well,
Why?
because Samus is a brilliant character to play as.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
Oh, yeah. I know you like them blondes. You might have a girlfriend, but I know you like them blondes. Anyway.
Yeah, my. Hey girl.
He's ginger anyway.
Yeah, but at least he's not in denial. Anyway.
Oh, that's terrible. Really swiftly on.
Again. Right, everybody, I appreciate it was quite a long episode, but thank you for joining us. Again, you can follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, and the various other formats that are out there. Moving forward, you probably won't see a roundtable discussion from us now until at least the end of February, because this young man right here has decided to go out of the country and look for some kangaroos and some wallabies. So he's gone to Wales.
Apparently he's playing Pokemon.
Yeah, and he's playing
Which is
Pokemon
sick.
Go in Australia.
March the 3rd is sooner there, so.
So he's getting
he
switched
lies!
He's getting some-
Sly! What one?
For that launch day, I'm not buying it.
We'll probably do, because our birthdays were all in February, we'll probably do some type of Gamer Box special podcast around that date.
It'd be those drinks for me anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
But
love the drinks.
in the meantime, there's a big launch coming out Monday.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, I think it's Monday, or is it Tuesday?
It's normally Tuesday.
Hey, yeah.
Either way,
Monday
we're
night,
definitely
Tuesday
going to
morning.
be doing some Let's
Oh,
Plays with that
gosh,
around
no.
with our big friend over there, Matthew King. We'll also finally get round to doing the Star Wars Battlefront DLC Let's Plays, especially with Rogue One still in everyone's minds. And then hopefully by that time, Martin will be back and we can start talking crap again about something else that we haven't quite worked out yet. Does that sound good?
It sounds
Okay,
good.
so good.
Start
Right,
things
cool.
going.
So that big furry one on the end's Matthew King, and he's going to be a regular on a show until he needs to go do some terrorist
Some
research again.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's his tighty whities. That's Martin Hawkins, who's going to be out of the country for a little while because he has to run from the police because of his drug charges.
Good minutes.
That's
Again.
Phil James Ferreira. You can find him on Tinder. Just swipe left because
Don't
he's
do
just a
Tinder,
mess.
bro.
And I'm AJ Nation, trying to keep it all together and failing miserably. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Let's discuss.
Pizza.